And the Sly News right here is only missing Sly Media. This right here, I'm gonna talk about big news that Warner Bros. Decided to do, not necessarily a biopic on Kobe Bryant. I represent the Lakers jersey right here, number 8, Kobe Bryant, and all that. That's the whole reason why I'm doing this video because of that. But not a biopic on him, but necessarily about the 1996 NBA draft, about him getting selected in the draft. So pretty much synopsis saying it's about the New Jersey Nets of whether or not they decide they're gonna go with a young Kobe Bryant and whether or not they decide to draft him or not. So the story revolves around that, kind of like how they did with the movie Air, the Michael Jordan movie, which is so good. If you haven't seen Air, definitely check it out. My man Chris Tucker definitely did a good job as well, man. That's why I need Chris Tucker in more movies, man. Like he did a good job in Air, and of course directed by one of my favorite actors, Ben Affleck, and of course Matt Damon was in. Like they a dynamic duo every time him and Ben Affleck get together and do a movie. So that movie was good air. So WB's off of that strength of that, how good that movie was. They're deciding they're gonna do the same thing with Kobe Bryant, who people might argue is up to. Some people put LeBron James ahead of Kobe. Maybe some people say LeBron and MJ. Some people say Kobe and MJ and all that. Some people have even said Kobe is better than MJ and all that. So that's a whole nother debate, sports debate. But yeah, so they decided they're gonna do it with Kobe Bryant. Since it worked with MJ, they decided they're gonna do it with Kobe Bryant. Do something revolving around him being drafted and about the 1996 NBA draft, about New Jersey Nets, about whether or not they were gonna go with Kobe Bryant drafting him. Now, of course, we know that didn't happen. Kobe ended up dropping to 13 and got drafted by the Charlotte Hornets, but ended up getting traded from the Charlotte Hornets to LA Lakers for Vlade Divac and all. And actually, Vlade Divac did end up being with the Sacramento Kings. That was part of that big rivalry, the Lakers and the Kings. That was pretty much the hold up of why the Kings could never win a championship with that team of Michael Bibby and Peter Stojakovic and all of them. Who's Peter Stojakovic, who also was a part of the 1996 NBA draft as well. But that was a big rivalry between the Kings and Lakers back in the back in the early 2000s and all and everything. So the 1996 draft, some people say is probably the best draft next to the 2003 draft. To me, it's my personal favorite. The 1996 draft, to me, I say is the best one because here's a couple names that happened in 1996 NBA draft. You got Marcus Camby, Sharif Abdul-Rahim, Allen Iverson was the first all draft pick, who's personally one of my favorite players of all time. That's why you see him right here in the back of me of this poster, Allen Iverson. You had Stephon Marbury, Ray Allen, Antoine Walker, Peja Stojakovic, like I already said, Steve Nash, and Jermaine O'Neal. And that's just to name a few in this draft. And also Ben Wallace went undrafted as well in this draft. So yes, 1996, I think NBA TV even did like a thing where they redid the whole experience of the 1996 NBA draft. So the 1996 NBA draft class was stacked. So for them to do a documentary, I mean not do a documentary, do like a movie, like a biopic on this draft, definitely good. And the thing is, the Nets, when they end up draft, they didn't draft Kobe Bryant. They ended up drafting Kerry Kittles, who Kerry Kittles was no scrub. I'm not going to even say that the man was a scrub. Kerry Kittles was no scrub at all or anything. I just say this. He was a good role player. He wasn't no Kobe Bryant. He was a good role player. I remember playing with Kerry Kittles on 2K when he was with New Jersey Nets. Like he was a good role player. He was part of that roster of the Nets that went to the finals back to back, but they lost. They lost to the Lakers and they lost to San Antonio Spurs. So they can never get over the hump. But imagine the Nets would have got Kobe Bryant. Imagine if Jay Kidd was still able to get there. Kobe Bryant, Jay Kidd, and you had Ken Martin and Richard Jefferson. It's a whole different landscape. I say the Nets might win some championships then. Because the Nets, I mean, since the 02-03 season, Nets haven't even, sniffed the NBA Finals or anything like that. Even when they stacked that team with Joe Johnson, Kevin Garnett, and then Paul Pierce, that team still didn't go nowhere or anything like that. So, to me, it's just like, dang, what the landscape or what would have been if Kobe Bryant did get drafted by the New Jersey Nets. So, who knows what to say? Imagine, how different it would be. Might be a statue in that Brooklyn where Jay-Z, had, personally, made the Brooklyn Nets a team that, he wanted to run and everything like that. You might see a Kobe Bryant statue over there or something like that. Who never knows? Like, the statue they got of Kobe Bryant in LA now and all. So, that's like I said, it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited about this, like I said, because I was just a fan of Air, and like I said, you see in the background, I'm a big sports fan. So definitely to see like man oh man, like pretty much to see living up to the draft because I'm always excited when I watch the draft. Even this year's NBA draft, I was still excited watching it. So I'm always loving, excited, definitely about the NBA draft and everything. So to see the behind the scenes stuff and do a movie entertainment wise of it. Definitely gonna be fun and everything and stuff. The season on the Nets, pretty much changed the whole landscape by making a decision whether you want to make a gamble or not. Like I said, I don't, like I said, the Nets chose to go with a veteran Kerry Kills. Like I said, he was no scrub, but like I said, he just wasn't Kobe Bryant. And no, and then Kobe Bryant drops all the way down to 13 and gets drafted by the I want to make sure I'm saying this right too. Look at my phone to make sure this is true. He was selected 13 overall by the Charlotte Hornets, but traded to LA Lakers. The Charlotte Hornets, still to this day have never made an NBA Finals. So who knows what to say? What happened? They got Kobe Bryant. What would happen with them instead of trading Kobe Bryant away? So change the landscape just to see, Kobe Bryant, he's the built on about toughness, grit, mama mentality. Kobe Bryant wasn't the most skilled, most talented, most athletic player or anything like that. He just worked hard, practiced, stayed in the gym. That's how he was, a guy that worked hard all the time and everything and stuff. And Kobe Bryant was a good storyteller, matter of fact. That's what he was doing during the end of his NBA, after his NBA career was over. He focused on storytelling, all that and stuff and everything. And he was, I'm a superhero nerd too. You see in the background as well. Kobe Bryant was like that. I ain't know that to the end and all that. Before, sadly, of course, he passed away. Everybody know about the incident, plane crash with him and his daughter and other his daughter's teammates and their parents and all in the deadly plane crash and everything and all. But yeah, so for certain, like, most definitely for certain, like Kobe Bryant was a big nerd and a big storyteller and all that. He loved doing that. So as well. But I know it's gonna be a while for they decide to do a biopic or anything like that on Kobe Bryant and all that and everything. But just to see this, something like this, to see, hey, the draft about whether or not, the Nets would go with drafting Kobe Bryant now and everything that played into that and what made them do that. And the Charlotte Hornets just trade away Kobe Bryant and all. Like I said, he was a young kid drafted out of high school, with nobody knew what this guy was gonna be. And he, of course, he did struggle a lot his first 2 seasons in the NBA as well. He did, struggle a lot before he became like Kobe Bryant that we all knew and love and all that. If you haven't seen like the Lakers documentary where they talk about the era of the Lakers, watch that. You'll understand more about Kobe, struggling and learning to find a road to become a better player and everything. So, but yeah, so like I said, nobody thought he was gonna be this and that, but that always motivated Kobe to be the great and be the best that he can be and all. Because like I said, they don't even draft players, of course, out of high school anymore. Anything like that. The last year of the draft when they had drafted players out of high school was the draft where they drafted Lou Williams, Monte Ellis, Andre Blige, Andrew Bynum as well, and all that. That class was the last class, along with Jared Green as well. That was the last class that was drafted out of high school. And all. I think the only person that probably would be a Hall of Famer out of that draft class as well that was drafted straight out of high school will be probably Lou Williams because he was a 3-time Six-Man of the Year. So I believe Lou Williams would probably be a Hall of Famer. Monte Ellis, I like him. He was the original splash thrower before Klay Thompson got there with Steph Curry, but I still say, I don't think he, his numbers are good enough to be Hall of Fame. I believe for sure Lou Williams will get in the Hall of Fame. For certain, I believe for certain. And all that, just because, Lou Williams, 3-time Six-Man of the Year, I believe he'll get in the Hall of Fame off of that and everything. And of course, out of that whole draft class, the only person that's still in the league is actually Chris Paul. He's the only person left still in the league from that draft class. And he even said this will be his last year in the NBA. So, but that was the last draft class. The draft class of Lou Williams and all of them out of high school. That was the last draft class of people, of basketball players out of high school getting drafted. So, but yeah, I can't wait, man. I'm excited, to see this movie. One cares about who's directed. Maybe Spike Lee. Hey, that's to put a name out there. I'd like to see Spike Lee directed. I would love to see that. Maybe Ryan Coogler. See him do something like this. Ryan Coogler directed or something like that. I'm interested to see it and all that. Who they get directed, who they going to get to write the script, everything like that. I wonder if they're going to have Kobe Bryant in it. Somebody, not Kobe Bryant necessarily, but, an actor playing Kobe Bryant in the film or anything like that. Because remember in Air, we don't really see an actor in the film, but we don't see Jordan's face at all. We just saw an actor in the film. We don't see a face or anything like that. I don't know if maybe they'll do this with the Kobe with this draft thing about the number 8th pick. Maybe they might have somebody an actor come in there, but he's not speaking or anything like that when it comes to the actor playing Kobe Bryant or anything like that. Interesting. They bring other actors along. Do they bring Kerry Kittles along? An actor playing him as well, or actor playing Jermaine O'Neal, or actor playing Allen Iverson, who was the first overall draft pick in that. So, like I said, I can't wait. I'm excited. It's one of the films that's a non-superhero film I'm excited to see it all that. Just because, like I said, the '96 NBA draft class to me was the best draft class ever. I don't think the closest thing to it, maybe you might say 1984 draft class with Jordan and Akeem Olajuwon and them. And third, everybody knows like the '03 draft class with LeBron, Melo, Chris Bosh, and them. So, well, so I'm excited, man. I'm definitely excited to see this movie, man. Well, about Kobe Bryant getting drafted and everything. So, you know. Like I always say, if you like the content, don't hesitate to like the subscribe button. It's Slide News right here. It's on Mr. Slide Media. This right here was my review about the news about them doing WB doing a Kobe Bryant movie about the day he was drafted. I think it's called like the number 8th pick. So can't wait to see it, man. Can't wait to see who's directing and all that and everything. Be blessed. Have a good night. Stay tuned because right after this, I'm gonna do another video. I'm gonna talk about the whole thing, Rampage Jackson's son, and why things gonna happen with that situation. So y'all stay tuned for that. That's coming up next. But this right here is my review about the Kobe Bryant movie news.